So good evening to everybody in India, and we are starting the we are talking about Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and we want to go slok by slok. And I think instead of one-sided lecture, I prefer that if anybody has to, it doesn't understand anything, or if something, you know, then I don't mind being interrupted then and there to ask the question. But of course, there should be a question answer session also afterwards for I don't know how much time, 15 minutes or so, or whatever. So we start. I think the background of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is well known, so I don't have to repeat it. It was a family dispute, you can say, and that family dispute was resolved also by the reigning king. But unfortunately, things happened in a different way, and ultimately, the Dhritarashtra, the de facto king, he took a very unreasonable stand. And because of that, in spite of several attempts to stop the war happened. And in the war, everybody was killed except 10 people. Seven from the Pandava side, the five Pandavas, and Krishna, Satyaki, and three from Kaurava side, namely Ashwathama, Kritvarma, and Kripacharya. So it was a huge destruction. It appeared that the destruction was what nature wanted to do in view of the imbalance between dharma and adharma. And therefore, that was Krishna's plan from the very beginning. And his Leela is very unfathomable, so one doesn't know how he will do the things. He had taken a vow just before Mahabharata not to fight any war. So he did not fight, but he destroyed the entire army that he wanted to destroy. He destroyed not only Kaurava, not only the Kaurava army, but in the Pandava army also everybody was destroyed. That was his will. And finally, after 35 years or so, he destroyed his own family also, because that was also within the plan of the nature. Now, this dialogue happened during the battle, in the battlefield, on the battlefield, and it was related to Dhritarashtra by Sanjay. So, and Sanjay was the one who heard it directly from Krishna, though he was not on the battlefield, but because of the powers given by Veda Vyas, he heard it directly. And of course, Arjun heard it. But there is another person who heard it also directly. I don't know whether anybody can guess who was that. Well, it was Lord Hanumanji, who was sitting on the flag of Arjuna and heard the entire dialogue without asking any question whatsoever. So Sri Hanumanji, to my mind, he is just a manifestation of God remembrance in the form of Lord Rama, the master of universe. And he's just remembrance as nothing else. He's just divine remembrance and nothing else. He has no space for anything else. Absolutely. So the story is that once the planet Saturn came to him and said, "Sir, I have to enter you and stay there for 7.5 years, because that is the rule according to the planetary configuration. That time has come. So you have to be here with me." He said, "Sir, honored as my honored guest, you are most welcome. It is my duty to welcome you and look after you. But I have one small problem, that I have no space at all. All the space is taken up by the remembrance of Lord Rama, and I am doing it constantly. There is just no space for you. So I'm very sorry. He said, but what are you talking? This is a law of nature, and I will have to stay here. He said, if you can find space, please stay on. So the poor Lord, planet Saturn tried his best to find even 1 millimeter of space, but couldn't find it and went away. He said, I'm sorry, I told you, I have no space for anybody or anything except that name of Lord Rama and his remembrance. And that is what he is, a manifestation of God remembrance. And from there, that is the source of all his qualities, all his strength, the entire utter absence of ego. Because where will the pure ego stay if there is no space for anything else? And all his the humility, the power, jnana, that is what makes him jnaninam agriganya. So we have also come to the once we remember Lord Rama, ego will vanish immediately. Immediately. So with this, I think we start. Sri Paramatmane Namah. Dhritarashtra धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेता युयोत्सव मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत Sanjay. Dhritarashtra said to Sanjay, in the Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, Kurukshetra has been called Dharma Kshetra because a lot of austerities were performed there, a lot of tapas, japas, and sadhanas were done. It was indeed a Dharma Kshetra, and it was destined to be a battlefield for the killing of a huge 18 extraordinary of army, causing a lot of misery to people. But at the same time, it was destined to be a place for the greatest teaching in the world called Bhagavad Gita. So Dhritarashtra says that in the Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, the people, my children and Pandava's children, who have gathered eager to fight, what did they do? What happened? Or what did they do? Now this Mamaka Pandavas Chaiva, this is the root of the trouble. The distinction between mine and somebody else's. According to me, I is not that much a source of ego as others. When you think that there is somebody apart from you, when you think that there is somebody different from you, when you distinguish somebody different from oneself, different from self or I, that is the root of trouble. Lord Krishna has the entire Bhagavad Gita, of course, is in the first person as related by him. So he keeps saying aham, aham a lot of time. But then his aham includes everybody, all of us. So there is no problem. But the aham which is limited, which distinguishes between myself and others, that is the root of the problem. So mamakaha pandavas chaiva, that is the root of the problem. Anyway, so Dhritarashtra has asked this one question, and this is the only shloka uttered by Dhritarashtra in the entire Bhagavad Gita. And after the Bhagavad Gita also, Sanjay has praised Bhagavad Gita in 7, 8 verses. But Dhritarashtra had not commented on Bhagavad Gita at all. He was just eager to listen to the account of the battle. So the first question after Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra again says that, okay, tell me what happened later in the battle. So it is Lord's Leela that the one person who is responsible for Bhagavad Gita is the one who is not interested in it at all, completely uninterested. So anyway, Sanjay Uvach, दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानीकम् व्यूढम् दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसङ्गम्य राजा वचनमब्रवीत्. Sanjay said, seeing the army of the Pandavas arranged in a formation, the king Duryodhan went to his acharya, his guru, Dronacharya, and spoke these words. Now, it is a mark of respect that the disciple goes to the teacher first before starting anything, before starting the battle. And he wants to take this opportunity of explaining to him who are the people who have come to fight the battle. And of course, uh, the people on the side of Duryodhan were much more than Pandava's side. So, had it been a democratic battle, Duryodhan Kauravas would have won outright because it was 11 Akshauhinis versus 7. But of course, it is not a democratic count because it counts the kings who were supporting either Duryodhan or Pandavas. Had the count been taken among the public, it might have been different. So here he says,
I can hear you, uncle. I can hear you.
Okay. पश्यतां पाण्डुपुत्राणामाचार्य महतीं चमू व्यूढां द्रुपदपुत्रेण तव शिष्येण धीमता. O Acharya, O teacher, look, this mighty army of the sons of Pandava, which has been formed there, which has been posted there by your wise disciple, the son of Drupad, that is Drishtadumna. Drishtadumna was the commander of Pandava army. So indirectly, the Duryodhana is also pointing out that your own disciple is fighting against you. He's trying to instigate Dronacharya by pointing out that your own disciple, that is Drupad, the son of Drupad, Drishtadumna, he is now fighting against you and he has collected all this army. And so just look at this army. Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha. Here there are the brave soldiers with mighty archers like Bhima and Arjun. Of course, for Duryodhan, Bhima and Arjun were the mightiest, and Bhima was a special rival. Yujudhan, that is Satyaki, Virat, and the great fighter Drupad himself. Drashtaketush Chekitana Kashirajascha Viryavan Puruje Kunti Bhojascha Shaivyascha Narapungava. These are all the names. Drashtaketu, Chekitan, the king of Kashi, his name is never mentioned. The mighty Kashiraj, Purjit and Kunti Bhoj and Shabya, all these the mighty among the men. Yudhamanyoश्च विक्रान्त उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान् सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथा. Yudhan, the mighty Yudhan, Uttamoja, the powerful Uttamoja, Saubhadra, that is the son of Subhadra, Abhimanyu, Draupadeyaha, the five sons of Draupadi, all of them are great warriors. अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान् निबोध द्विजोत्तम नायका मम सैन्यश्च संज्ञार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते. And our soldiers also, oh the best of Brahmanas, please know that also, the main of them, those who are the commanders of my army, for your knowledge, I am speaking out their name also. भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च सौमदत्तेस्तथैव च. You first of all you yourself, then Bhishma, Karna, Kripacharya, the winner of the battles, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and Somadatta, the son of Somadatta, that is Bhurishrava, all these. Now Duryodhana is very tactful. Although Bhishma is the mightiest of all the soldiers, the eldest also, and the commander of entire army also, but in enumerating, Duryodhana is enumerating his teacher Dronacharya first, Bhavan. Then he says, you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripacharya, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, Somadatti, that son of Bhurishtava. Anye cha bhava shura madarthe chatta jivita nana shastra praharana sarve yuddha visharada. There are many other brave people also who have given up the expectation of life for my sake. They are expert in various arms and they are all expert in the warfare, the knowledge of warfare. So he has actually recounted more names from Pandava side than from his side, perhaps perhaps because of the reason that on his side Bhishma already knew who are the people. So he just recounted for the sake of it, but he has not recounted all of them. अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितम् पर्याप्तं त्विदमेतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम्. What a balanced sloka. अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितं पर्याप्तं त्विदमेतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम्. Although aparyapt normally means insufficient, but here it has been used in the sense of unlimited. So he says that our force, protected by Bhishma, because Bhishma is the commander in chief, is unlimited, infinite. While their force, protected by Bhima, is Paryapta, that is limited or finite. So he says that our force, our power is much more. It is unlimited power. Nobody can describe it, but their power is limited. Trying to encourage, and he has said Bhima Bhirakshitam. Although Bhim was not the commander in chief of Pandava army, the commander in chief was Drishtadyumna, but Duryodhana thinks that Bhima is the most powerful enemy. So he is saying that their army is protected by Bhima. Ayaneshu च सर्वेषु यथा भागमवस्थिता भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि. Therefore, you people, all of you, now he suddenly addressing everybody else, wherever you are posted in your own position, fighting from your own position, you should in every way try to protect Bhishma only, because he is the commander in chief, so his security is most essential. Therefore, in your own postings, fighting from your own positions, in every way you must take care of the security of Bhishma Pitama. तस्य सञ्जयन् हर्षं कुरुवृद्धः पितामहः सिंहनादं विनद्योच्चैः शङ्खं दद्मौ प्रतापवान्. At this stage, the eldest of the Kurus, the grandfather, that is Bhishma Pitama, he leapt up with joy and doing what is called a singanad, roaring like a lion, he blew his powerful conch powerfully, loudly. Now just see, a man situated in dharma, a complete knower of dharma, is forced by circumstances to fight against his own conscience. And yet he is fighting with all the spirit, with all the joy, with all the enthusiasm. Why? Because he bows down to the Leela of Lord. He bows down to Krishna Leela, which is unfathomable. He could have asked Krishna, my Lord, why have you placed me in this position? That I am fighting not only against my family, but also against my conscience. And I am fighting on the side of adharma. Why is it that? He never asked that question. He's just playing his part. Of course, his entire birth was a different story. Why he was born at all, because of some curse. And also, lots of things are interlinked. So not only he had to uh, undergo the curse, but he also had to perform certain roles while doing so as a divine plan. So, as a part of divine plan, he is fighting against his own conscience. He is fighting on the side of adharma, and yet he is playing his part with perfect, perfect enthusiasm and joy, just as somebody in a play would play a part of Ravana or Kansa with perfect enthusiasm. ततश्च शङ्खाश्च भैर्यश्च प्रणवानकगो मुखा सहसैवा व्यहन्यन्त सशब्दस्तुमुलो भवत्. Then all the conches, the drums, and all those narsinghas and mridang, etc. They all sounded together, and that created a huge amount of sound. So the battle has been announced by Kauravas. This is an important point. Although Pandavas tried their best, Krishna tried his best to stop the battle. Now that is also a mystery because at divine level he wants the battle. He has been born to manipulate the battle. The entire plan of Mahabharata was chalked out before he took his birth. So as a divine being, he is the one who is fighting the battle and making people fight. But as a human being, he tried his best to stop the battle. And not only that, I mean, he even considered some very unreasonable proposals, like giving only 5 villages to the Pandavas. Duryodhana said, "What 5 villages? I won't give even a speck of land." Anyway, but in spite of all that, it is the Kauravas who have announced the battle by blowing their conches. ततः श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति स्यन्दने स्थितौ माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खौ प्रदत्मतु. The first mention of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Then, situated on the Ratha, driven by white horses, the Madhava, the Lord Krishna himself, and the Pandava, that is Arjun, they blew their divine conches. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Pondram Dadmau Mahashankam Bhima Karma Vrakodara. Rishikesh, the Lord Rishikesh, blew his Panchajan conch. Dhananjay Arjun blew his conch named Devadatta, and the doer of formidable tasks, Vrakodara Bhima, he blew his great conch that is named Ponder. Bhim was called Vrakodar because he had an appetite like a wolf. So Vrakodar means having a stomach like a wolf. So Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthira Nakula Sahadeva Sughosh Pakau. Then the king, the official king Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, he blew the conch called Anant Vijaya, and Nakul and Sahadev blew their conches, namely Sughosh and Manipushpa. ताश्च परमेश्वास शिखण्डी च महारथ धृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकीश्च पराजित द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहु शङ्खान् दद्मु पृथक् पृथक्. Now the Shikhandi, the great fighter Shikhandi, who was the brother of Draupadi, he blew his great uh, co- conch, the possessor of great arch. Then the Drishtadyumna, the commander in chief, Virat, the Lord Virat, the King Virat, Satyaki, the invincible Satyaki. Satyaki was one of the survivors of the 10 that I mentioned. Drupad, Draupadeyaha, that is the five sons of Draupadi and Drupad, all of them, O Lord of land, that is, he is addressing the thrust, Sanjay, and the Saubhadra, that is the Subhadra's son, Abhimanyu, the great having Mahabahu, the great armed, they blew their conches separately. Saghosho धार्तराष्ट्राणाम् हृदयानि व्यदारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमुलो व्यनुनादयन्. That sound, it tore the heart of the sons of Dhritarashtra. And from the earth to the sky, there was a huge echo of great sound. अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वज प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डव. And then, seeing them all situated in their places, the sons of the Dhritarashtra, the Kapidhwaja, the one on whose chariot the great monkey resided. When we are remembering Lord Hanumanji. So the word used, the name used for Arjun here is Kapidhwaja. That Kapidhwaja, seeing all these sons of the trust situated in their places, and when the arms were going to be used, a battle was just about to begin, the arms were going to begin their dance, that Pandava, the son of Pandu, raised his the arch and spoke these words. O king, again Sanjay is addressing the thrust. ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यमिदमा महीपते. अर्जुनोवाच सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये रथं स्थापयमेच्युत. So, the Lord of land, O Dhritarashtra, then this Arjun spoke these words to Rishikesh that please situate, please take my ratha, my chariot in the middle of both the armies. Now here the foundation of Bhagavad Gita starts. But for this situation, the, the Arjun would not have been confused, overtaken by a moha and all, and the ground for Bhagavad Gita would not have started. That is why the chapter 1 is known as Vishad Yogo. Arjun Vishad Yogo Adhyaya. Arjun ka Vishad, the despondency of Arjun itself has acted like a yoga because it has given rise to the great knowledge. So what did Arjun say? That situate my chariot in between both the armies. Why? यावदेतान्निरीक्षेऽहं योद्धुकामानवस्थितान् तैर्मया सह योद्धव्यम् अस्मिन् रण samudya mein. So that, or at least as long as I am able to observe that who have come to fight with me and with whom I should fight in this uh, trade of battle. Battle, after all, is a gamble. You don't know who is going to win. But anyway, I want to see who all have come because till this time it was not sure who have turned up to fight against the Pandavas. So I want to observe them, and also I want to decide with whom I fight because Arjun cannot fight with everybody at the same time. So people must decide with who will fight with whom. So I want to decide that. Therefore, please agree to my request. योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहम् य एतेऽत्र समागता धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेर्युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षव. I want to know that who are the people who wish the welfare of Durbuddhi Duryodhan, the evil-minded Duryodhan, and who have come to fight with me, to who gather together here to fight with us, and who wish the welfare of this evil-minded Dhartras. So even now, Arjun is very angry with in particular Duryodhan and also the other sons of Dhritarashtra. He's very angry and he is revengeful also, I should say. I am saying this because we will see a complete change of heart in Arjun, which actually led to the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita.
Uncle,
Sanjay,
did you say Arjun is angry or did you say Arjun is impatient?
well, Arjun seems to be angry in this. Though the word angry is not used here, but he's in this description, Arjun seems to be angry because he's calling uh, Duryodhan Durbuddhi, and he's referring to the sons of Dhartras. You don't refer to your cousins like that generally. You refer to them affectionately, but here he is calling them the sons of Dhartras. So he's obviously angry. He's in a mood of to fight. Sanjay Uvacha. एवमुक्तो ऋषिकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम् भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखता सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् कुरूनिति. Sanjay said that, "O Bharat," Bharat is used for Dhritarashtra, saying this, having spoken like this by Arjun, the Rishikesh, after situating the chariot in the middle of both the armies, and especially in front of Bhishma and Drona, and of course all the other the big people, Uvach said like this, "O Parth, Pashyetan Samavetan Kuruniti." Have a look at all these Kurus who have come, who have gathered here together. Now the important thing here is that he is very clever. Huh? Our Lord is not a simple person. He is very tactful and he is very clever. So he has especially kept the chariot so that he can clearly see Bhishma and Drona, among others, of course. But he has Bhishma and Drona Pramukhata, and of course all the others. And then He is referring to, he is addressing Arjun as Parth, the Prathaputra. That means trying to, remind him of his mother. And at the same time, he is calling the Kauravas not, he is Kurun. And actually, as a matter of fact, even the Pandavas were also called Kuru, the descendants of Kuru. So he's emphasizing that they come from your family. They are a part of your family. You are both Kurus. You are also Kuru. They are also Kuru. He's calling them Kurun. Samavetan Kurun. So the magic has worked. Tatrapashat sthitan partha pitranath pitamaha आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रात्रान् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा श्वशुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि. Then the Parth, the son of Pratha, saw there all the grandsires, the uncles, the teachers, the maternal uncles, the cousins, sons and nephews, of course, grandsons and friends, sons in law, and those who were otherwise well wishers of him. He saw all of them in the situated in the middle of both the armies. So, Tan Samiksha Sakonteya Sarvan Bandhunava Chitan कृपया पर्यावेष्टो विषीदन् idamabravi. Seeing all of them, that Kante, the son of Kunti, all these relatives uh, gathered there, he got overcome by compassion. Kripaya paryavishta. He got overcome by compassion and sorrowfully he said on. He said, spoke like this.
अंकल इस
There is a change of heart in Arjun.
ये पहली बार उनका चेंज ऑफ हार्ट है क्या? क्योंकि गुस्से में थे, राइट अर्जुन जी?
हाँ, हाँ,
वी ही इज नाउ फिल्ड विद कंपैशन.
हम्म,
तो इज दिस दी ये पहले बार है इस चैप्टर में जब उनका गुस्सा
हाँ,
शायद थोड़ा सा बदल
बिल्कुल,
गया हो या फिर
हाँ, पहले गया है. But actually, though Arjun was a very good person, actually he was the best among Pandavas. Even Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said later on that I am the Arjun among the Pandavas. He was the best of Pandavas, no doubt. Very balanced person and not at all selfish. He had great affection and love for everybody. He had great balance of mind, and he had all the virtues you can think of. In fact, I cannot recount a single defect in Arjun. But the problem was this, which and the problem was actually a blessing for us. But the problem was this, that at the end of the day, having debated everything with Krishna and among all the others, all the Pandavas, including Arjun, had come to the conclusion that there is no way but to fight against the cause, because they are not only being unjust and unfair, they are being absolutely unreasonable. They are not giving us. I mean, we were the kings, and in a gamble, of course, it is our fault also. But in a gamble, we lost the whole thing, and condition on certain condition. That condition we have fulfilled. Now, actually, Duryodhan was first thinking that probably they have not completed their time period of their Banivas. But Bhishma Pitama ruled that no, they have. both according to Surya count as well as Chandra count, they have completed their period. Then Duryodhana did not question that. He accepted his ruling. But even then, he took this totally unreasonable and unexplainable stand. Which, and not only that, they were not even willing to give them any land even for their sustenance. So everybody was convinced that there is no way except fighting. We have to fight. With all now, Arjun was a party to it, and Arjun was in fact very keen to fight and find out how to begin, how to fight, how to plan his strategy and all that. And now suddenly seeing everybody, he has got compassion and he has. So this is a weakness. Why should I call it weakness? Because this is not normal Arjun speaking. And had Arjun done what he, of course, I will come to it later. But when you are acting under an emotion, now that emotion may look like a good emotion, but it may be a weakness. Then you will act in a different way, and later on, when you come back to your normal nature, you will repent what you had done. So the Krishna, therefore, a lot of questions Arjun has asked after this. But Krishna has not answered even a single question that Arjun has asked in this chapter. I'll come to that. But in the whatever the number of questions Arjun has asked in this, the number of defects he recounted of fighting the battle and destroying your own family. But Krishna has not answered a single question after that. Because he directed his teaching to the main point, the main problem that Arjun had, which was to bring him back to normalcy, and of course endowed with the entitlement of Gita knowledge. So now it is 12 minutes are left. Are there any people who would like to ask questions?
Uncle,
Or
I don't
should
know.
I?
I'm the only one today. I will send this
Okay.
recording to Chandra auntie.
Huh. So I will then, what I will do, I will complete 1 hour and go as far as I can go,
Yes,
and
uncle.
then issue.
That will be
Huh?
perfect. That will be perfect. And by next week,
So,
I think I'll have more people join. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So Arjun Vach, Arjun Drashtve Swajanam Krishna Yujutsum Samupastitam Sidante Mama Gatrani Mukham Cha Parishoshati वेपथोश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते. Arjun says, "Oh Krishna, seeing my own family here, ready to fight, my body is getting nervous, numb. The parts of my body are getting nervous. My mouth is drying up, and my body is trembling. I am not able to. गाण्डीवं संसते हस्तात् त्वच्चैव परिदयते न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः. The Gandiva, my mighty arch Dhanush Gandiva, is slipping from my hands, and my skin is burning. I'm not even able to stand, let alone fight, and my mind is getting confused. Now, this is moha. In moha, what typically happens is that the indriyas, the senses, are affected first. So, he described his physical condition, the body and the senses. Now, in the last part of this verse, he has spoken about the mind, because then the senses, the polluted senses polluted by moha, they then affect the mind. So now he has come to mind. निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च श्रेयोनु पश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे. So the mind is confused, and then he says, and O Keshav, I see all wrong omen, adverse omen, and I don't see any good that is coming out of it after killing your own people in a battle. So what has happened? The moha has gone from the indriyas to the mind, and from the mind to the intellect. So the intellect is now giving a reasoning that I don't see good omen, I see all adverse omen, I don't see any good that can come out of it by killing your own people in battle. Now this is a polluted intellect. This is not the normal intellect of Arjun. Had it been normal intellect, Arjun would have disagreed with other Pandavas. He said, no, I don't agree with you, sir. However, we may suffer, we may die of hunger, but we must fight because this is not right, this is not done, this is adharma. And after all, we have also a right to live. But now the same Arjuna is saying that what good can come out of it. So he is giving a wrong reasoning. Now, we normally the intellectuals, we intellectuals, we refer everything to our intellect. And we not only that, we let the intellect ride, let the intellect decide, let everything be decided by intellectual logic. But we forget that intellect can also be polluted. At best, intellect is only an advocate. Intellect cannot be the judge of what is right and what is wrong. Who should be the judge? We are the judge. We should decide what is right and wrong, not the intellect. Intellect will, the job is to analyze the matters and give us the results of analysis, of intellectual analysis. But it is for us to agree or disagree. And if you are in normal state, we will agree with the right thing. If you are in a sub abnormal state because of anger, because of frustration, because of depression, because of anything, if you are in abnormal state, then not only we will our thinking will be negative, but even our intellect will make matters worse by arguing the way that we want it to happen. Intellect is in a way like a psychopath. It senses what we want. It senses our orientation and then tries to argue the same way. So here Arjun's intellect is arguing the way his orientation is proceeding. न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगै जीवितेन वा. Oh Krishna, I don't want victory. I don't want kingdom. I don't want happiness. Because, oh Govind, what will I do with the kingdom or with the bhogas, the enjoyments, and even with life? So Arjun speaking like this, that what the same the entire mind is changed. The Indriyas also already he said that I am not even able to stand, and I am my hands are not able to hold on to my gandiv and not able to stand. So body is affected, mind is affected, mind is confused. Brahmati vichamya manah, mind is confused, and the intellect is now arguing like this. That what will I do? येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च त एमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणान् त्यक्त्वा धनानि च. For whose sake we want kingdom, the enjoyments and happiness. The same people now stand before us ready to fight, even sacrificing their lives and wealth. So Arjun is arguing that after all, why do we want the kingdom? Why we want enjoyment? Why we want happiness? We don't want for ourselves. I am not a selfish man. We want for our people. We want our people to be healthy, wealthy, and do well. But if the same people are willing to fight, the same people are willing to die in the battle, then what is the use? Now, I want to emphasize this point that this is a very valid argument for another person, but not for Arjun. The point is this: there can be another person who would have argued this way. No, no, it's all right. I don't want anything. Let my cousins rule. I don't want any kingdom. Even if I die of starvation, I don't mind. I am willing to sacrifice my wealth, my rights, my even my body and my life for them. I will die of hunger. It doesn't matter. That would have been that might have been a proper sentiment for somebody else, but not for Arjun. Because Arjun's Shraddha was different. Everybody must act according to one's Shraddha. One should not act less than the Shraddha also, because then later on the Shraddha will say that you are lesser man than I thought. You are lesser man than I thought. You have not come to my expectation. And at the same time, you should not do more than the Shraddha also. Otherwise, they will say, no, no, unnecessarily you have done this. There was no need to do this. You have unnecessarily, in over enthusiasm, you have overshot your Shraddha. So one must act according to Shraddha, and that is what Arjun is not able to do at present. Shraddha is different. The normal Arjun thinks in a different way. He acts in a different way. He has different Shraddha. He has different conscience. But now he is talking against Shraddha, and that is why Krishna is going to ignore all this totally. Acharya pitara putras tathaiva cha pitamaha matula shvashura pautra shala sambandhinas tatha. Now he's recounting all those people who are here: acharyas, my teachers, my uncles, my sons, nephews, my grandfathers, my maternal uncles, my fathers-in-law, my grandchildren, my brothers-in-law, and my other relatives. And see, the shloka has been worded in such a way that, in Sanskrit there is a rule that visarga, when is visarga done with a sandhi? No, and when cannot be done. Putras tathaiv, putra, putra tatha eva. It becomes putras tathaiva. Sambandhinah tatha. It becomes sambandhinas tatha. So there are rules. And there are also places where visarga cannot be joined by a sandhi. For instance, when it is preceded by a pa or sha or ka or kha, then it cannot be joined by sandhi. So acharya pitaraha. You have to speak visarga because afterwards it is followed by pa. Now the words, the shloka has been constructed in such a way that you are forced to pronounce the visarga many times, which gives a feeling, how Arjun must be feeling. Ah, ah, ah. Acharya pitara putras tathaiva cha pitamaha matula shvashura putra shala sambandhina tatha. You see? Matulaha, shashuraha, pautraha, shalaha. None of these places you can have the sandhi. You will have to pronounce Visarga. The sloka also expresses in a way the condition of Arjun's mind. एतान्नहन्तुमिच्छामि जतोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्य राज्यस्य हेतो किं नु मही कृते. I don't want to kill all of these people. Even if I am killed, oh Madhusudan, even if I am killed, gratopi, grata api, eta nahantum ichhami, I don't want to kill them. Even for the kingdom of the three lokas, what to talk of this one loka of Prithvi. That means, we are going to fight for this land. What to talk of this land? I don't want to fight and kill these people. Even if I get in return the kingdom of Triloka. So this is Arjun's condition at present. I think we stop here.
Sure, uncle. Uncle,
हाँ,
thank you. बहुत अच्छा लगा. बहुत बहुत अच्छा लगा. I think really very happy. बहुत अच्छा लगा. You took me to the battlefield, uncle. मुझे लगा मैं देख रही हूँ. क्या देख रही हूँ पता नहीं, मगर बहुत बहुत अच्छा लगा. Uncle ji, I have a request. Next Saturday, can we try having class morning India time Saturday? Just for next Saturday.
Morning time will be problem because morning because Friday night normally we go out, somewhere.
Okay.
So Saturday morning time we will be here
But
finding
only
India
for
time.
next week. I don't want to miss class because my high school friends are coming on the 11th. That's why I was asking. Is any other day this week okay for you in the morning? Any day? Is there any day? I don't want the gap, basically, पूछ रही.
Any day is fine, but it will be not all right for the office. Okay, any day.
हाँ, नहीं, okay. तो how about 13th morning? नहीं, नहीं ना, नहीं. Because नहीं तो
13th,
otherwise the next class will only be on the 11th.
13th is which day?
13th is a Monday.
Monday, for me it is all right.
आपको Monday ठीक है?
हाँ.
ठीक
So
है.
13th, why are you taking to 13th? अभी तो we are in 4th only.
हाँ, नहीं 11th would say 11th. I won't be able to come on 11th. So is there any alternate day? नहीं तो we'll have to go. आप बताइए, and I'll make myself available.
11th is नहीं.
It's
हाँ,
only
तो 13th is fine.
evening I'm not available, uncle.
No, 13th is fine.
13th
The
is
same time, 13th is fine.
just for that. We'll go back to Saturday then.
Okay.
Just for that day.
Absolutely fine.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Namaste, uncle.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice day.
Namaste.
ये recording में भेज दूंगी everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.